If you're new to fasting, or maybe you've tried it before but you're struggling to see results, honestly, I'm not surprised. There is so much mixed information trying to sell you something. Fasting Tube is independent and focusing on real information. Let's get started with today's video.
The question, does 16-8 intermittent fasting really help to lose weight? There are a lot of really great answers here, so instead of echoing the same thing, I'll offer my experience and hopefully offer more perspective. I've been on it for about a month, eating only from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., a 6-hour window. I admittedly don't weigh myself because a lack of results is devastating to my continued adherence to a program. Instead, I rely on how my clothes fit, what people notice, and what I see in the mirror. I should get on the scale, and I will soon, but I am making progress. Most people start a diet with enthusiasm and the momentum carried by the notion of being fit and thin. I don't miss having breakfast, so that was no biggie, but from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., it can get a bit tough. But you can tough it out and use determination to get there. Some days are easy and some are tough, but in this situation you have a defining factor. You succeed if you make it to 2 p.m. and you've failed if you don't. As Yoda would say, there is no try, there is only do or don't do. There is no try, there is only do or don't do. Herein is the magic of it. But let me digress to make another point. I have a friend who travels, lectures, writes articles, and is extremely respected in terms of his knowledge for nutrition, diet, physiology, etc. In short, his position on it is this: if it helps you consume less calories and stay on program, then it works, and this is the extent of his condoning the program. He stated that all the claims, benefits and stats are bunk. The increase in HGH, improved insulin response, hormones released, and all the many things acclaimed. Quite honestly, he stole my placebo effect. I really wanted to believe these were true, but I now believe it's all a bunch of hype, as we've seen with so many other diets. All the studies, research, stats. Unsubstantiated bunk. Sorry to say. But, why does it work? I'll tell you why, or at least my thoughts. If it helps you consume less calories and stay on program, then it works. The true success of a diet isn't about what you put into your mouth, but rather what sits between your ears. It's psychology. To quote and revise Golden Mayer, you will lose weight when being fit, healthy and thin is more valued and important to you than making each meal an opportunity to gratify your palate. This is why so many obese heart attack survivors find their way to losing weight and eating right when faced with the alternative. You need to want it. Determination is everything, and this is why success can be found in any diet. Atkins, Paleo, Mediterranean, Zone, grapefruit, or even the cookie diet. I've seen and done it all. Low cal, low fat, low carb, special ratios, etc. And it all comes down to calorie restriction. Problem is, authors can't sell a book or get people to sign up for programs with just eat less, eat healthy, and exercise. So they come up with some secret recipe. Back it up with science, stats, research and testimony, and take your money. Ironically, losing weight isn't as much a function of what you do. It's what you need to stop doing, eating too much. Perhaps this is the only case where doing less results in success. But still, why does it work? And without taking a penny of your money, I'll now tell you why, but I need a fresh paragraph. In summary, elimination is easier than moderation. Or, moderation is the tool of the devil which leads us to deviating from program. Think about it, most of us have dieted, lost weight, and then gradually gained it back. Did we abruptly quit and immediately gorge ourselves? No. In fact, we never had a quitting point. We just gradually started eating more and tried to tell ourselves that we adopted a healthy lifestyle. But 97% of us didn't. We went back to our previous, comfortable, ways. At least I did. And what I experience in life I project onto everyone else, right? LOL. Elimination is easier than moderation. So what went wrong? Well, we felt good about ourselves. We did a lot of exercise, or the pizza was so good that we went from having just one slice to having 2 slices. Or we went from a small amount of frozen yogurt with no toppings to having a larger size and some toppings. We try to moderate the amount we eat, and over time we slip back to eating too much. It tastes great, it feels good, and the weight comes back gradually to the point where we don't perceive or realize the gain. No doubt, trying to moderate food intake is a bitch. The opposite of it is the 56 small meals throughout the day. You know, the one that keeps your metabolism revved up, gives you energy all day, and turns you into a fat-burning furnace. And all the research, studies and science confirm that. Yet, it flies in the face of it. So what's up with that? Didn't science once tell us that smoking is a desirable and healthful habit? And now, we have it, which tells us to skip breakfast and only eat within a time window. And this is confirmed by science, research, etc. Yeah, right. It comes down to calorie restriction. We need to eat less than we consume. With typical diets, you can eat during all your waking hours. Breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, snack, dinner, snack, snack. You are tormented with having to moderate food intake every hour you're awake. The failure is gradual as we slowly tend to eat more, often rationalized by having worked out a lot or being able to ease up since we've made good progress. Or my favorite, the cheat day, which often becomes the cheat weekend and evolves into simply not being on any semblance of a program. Moderation is the path to failure, whereas elimination is black and white, on or off, on program or off. You are tormented with having to moderate food intake every hour you're awake. What I found is that I can get to 2 p.m. each day and I can stop eating at 8 p.m. each night. Yes, I endure some periods of hunger, but this is where your determination, tenacity and dedication towards reaching your goal comes in. With moderation, each hour and each meal is a struggle to eat as little as possible. With if you only have 6 hours to cope with that. Applying stats to a 24-hour day, that's a 75% reduction in eating window, LOL. You know how they say to never go grocery shopping on an empty stomach? Well, don't go into your eating window without a game plan. Your home should ideally have no junk food. Don't make it an option and you won't have to struggle with choices. Because elimination is easier than moderation. Get the bad food out and have plenty of good food on hand, which leads me to another cool thing about if. Come 2 p.m., even mediocre food tastes awesome. Costco has this quinoa salad, which is a bunch of ground up vegetables and some vinaigrette dressing. This is the kind of stuff you eat because it's good for you, not the kind of thing you'd eat watching a football game or binge on. Guess what? Come 2 p.m. that quinoa salad tastes amazing. I also barbecue some chicken and have that on hand to eat. You need to have plenty of good choices available. Stuff that is not calorie rich, but instead food that has a low ratio of calories to bulk. I tend to go heavy on lean meat and vegetables. A protein shake with some unsweetened almond milk and a bit of fruit will nuke your stomach into appetite submission. Oddly enough, my first meal doesn't take long to make me feel satiated, and then you can snack healthy until having a reasonable dinner. We are creatures of habit. Once you get used to not snacking after 8 p.m., it's easier. Eating is simply off the menu, it's no longer an option. Typical diets tell you to have something low in calories. But have you ever noticed that after you eat a bit you realize you're hungry and want even more? Want to see that effect multiply? Eat something from the chemical trifecta: sugar, salt or fat. That'll trigger a host of brain signals prompting you to eat even more. So have a good dinner and call it quits. Again, conventional diets suggest you just have a low-calorie snack, but herein lies the struggle. You need to moderate how much you eat. And moderation is the path to failure. Elimination is easier than moderation. So, it works not because of some chemical magic or any of that marketing stats that may or may not be true. It works for some people because it's easier to stay on program. It eliminates the struggle to moderate intake for all the hours outside your eating window. And when you do eat, you'll be hungry enough to enjoy, truly enjoy, even boring foods, big salads and healthy foods, and all this tends to eating better, feeling better, and the miracle happens. I'm sorry I wrote a whole novel, but this helps me stay on program and I hope it helps others. They say you can message on Quora, but I've yet to figure it out. If anyone wants to contact me, I'm at bikeswimlaugh@gmail.com, but I have nothing to sell or offer other than encouragement and sharing thoughts.